Oh my gosh. No mic. Code string. Thanks for noticing. Hey everyone, this is Snark with Snark's Domain. I just wasted the first 3 minutes of your time. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what color this putty's going to be yet. I haven't opened it past here. I was just saying I scanned this authenticity sticker. Pretty smart. Those have got like 16 digits on them. It takes you to the website, and then it says that's the first. You have to enter the 16 digits, and then it tells you whether or not it's the first time the code's been scanned. I think it said this code is... Yeah, it just said this is the first time. I'm sure if you scanned it multiple times or put the numbers in, it would say, you know, this code's been entered 3 times or 60 times or something like that. So, good method of checking if something's real or not. That makes me think I need to do the same thing for the Thermalright Helios stuff, because they had authenticity stickers too. I just never bothered scanning them. So, I'll do that at some point. Can you guys hear me now, at least? There, oh yeah, okay. Here we go. So, yeah. Welcome to the stream. I was also mentioning... While I was muted, I was mentioning how, if you guys hadn't heard yet, we as in me, got a Discord server. If you haven't joined yet, definitely do so if that interests you. It's a great place to look for help with, wow, it's gonna be messy. Looks like ice cream. Like melted, semi-melted soft serve ice cream. The Discord's a great place to share your experience with Putty. Ask for assistance if you've got questions, or even if you just want to hang out with us. It's a good spot. I usually post sneak peek stuff on results, so if you really want to know about a product right after I apply it, sometimes I'll post a screenshot in the next hour after the stream with it up and running and testing, and that usually gives us a pretty rough idea of how the stuff's going to perform. So how did this stuff perform? We'll get to the numbers at the end. It's not great. It's almost about the same, but a little bit worse than Hound's-Eye HY234. I like Hound's-Eye's HY236 and 256. Any of the 6-watt ones. It just comes in different colors. That's the only difference with the middle number, is they've put a different coloring in the same mixed material. And those ones are pretty good, actually. And it's a nice consistency, but the HY234 is not as high performing. And this stuff is way too liquidy. All that needs to happen, though, I think, for this stuff, is they just need to add more thermal boosters. And maybe I'll try that. This seems like a decent carrier that I could add that boron nitride that I've got. Unless it's... I'll have to see how MG Chemicals did. Maybe I would try the MG Chemicals one first. It's a similar, quite soft. Yeah, I would go with MG Chemicals, because that comes from a large manufacturer and it has data sheets and stuff. This stuff I don't have a whole lot of data on. It's going to be hard to save it all. This is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if I'm noticing it being a bit more like, okay, there's a bit of a chunk here that's a little bit less liquidy, that's holding together more than the other pieces. It's like, I think this stuff has reacted to the heat a bit. I did have it up, it goes up above 100 degrees Celsius for a while. while doing the kapow test. So maybe this stuff is... Oh, wow. Interesting. I'm just going to zoom in here. Sorry guys, I'm kind of... I talk and think at the same time, and then I look like I'm just really clumsy. Which maybe I am. Maybe I'm just a clumsy guy. Who knows? I swear I'm not, though. But I don't have to talk into a mic and wear headphones and be on a live stream. I think I usually do pretty good at life in general. So the stuff I scooped off the cooler, it came up just like I laid it down. It's very soft. It wasn't cured at all. Now, this stuff has become more like a semi-cured... It's not hard, but it definitely baked some of it. It's almost like I took the cookies out of the oven too soon, and they're still soft and gooey, but kind of like a little bit baked. So it's not, it's no longer a consistent liquid. And how long have we had this stuff on the card for? Was, what, yesterday morning, I want to say? Or it was like... No, it was like 4 p.m. You guys see that? See how it kind of like sprung? It was rubbery. So I don't think this stuff is stable. So what would happen is if you had this in your card for like, let's say, several months or whatever, I assume it would just all become rubberized. Now, whether it would go rock solid, I'm not sure. But I'm not planning on testing that out at all. Sorry, I'm going to catch up on the comments here in a second once I'm probably never going to put this on a card again. I'll save it for now. I don't think I can test this same stuff again. It's changed, right? It's like, I'm sure it'll still squeeze out of a syringe, but it's going to be in clumps. Based on the performance, I don't plan on testing this on the next test card, and that's, I think, one of the only other one I won't test again is the Slice Engineering. We're always going to have to retest the CSGR stuff, just because there's still so many people falling for that product. But I'll hold on to this for now until I figure out what I want to do with it. Where did I buy this from? I bought the LTP-15 from Amazon. That's the one that we're just pulling off the card now. Now the Fehonda that we're about to test, well, once we clean this card. Wow, this stuff is so messy. I bought the Fehonda stuff also from AliExpress, which, if you go to the Fehonda website and you type in, or you go to their like products, it was kind of hard to find. It wasn't listed as a putty, but the LTP81 that we're going to be testing is there, and it does say that if you're in US or Canada and a few other countries, that like they sell directly to or through AliExpress. And I did scan this authenticity sticker and I scratched the 4 code. Maybe I'll zoom into that for you guys, so if you want, you can get a look at the user synapse. Oh, sorry. I'll adjust the focus here so you guys can see the 16 digits in a second. probably pause the video if you want to type those into the Fehonda. And you might be able to scan the code, I'm not sure. But I'll show you guys the picture of what it looks like here in a little bit. I guess I could do that now. Let me just open up Google Photos over here. So I went to the website on my phone. And I'm just going to save image as desktop. Fonda. I'm just going to close Google Photos because that seems like a good idea. And I'll switch to the display capture here. So I scanned the QR code, it took me to this website, and then I typed in those 16 digits that we saw off that sticker. And it says, hello, the anti-counterfeiting code you queried confirms it's an Origin Fehonda product. This is the first inquiry after scratching. Thanks for your support. So I didn't know how those worked until now. That's cool. Makes sense. It's pretty easy to understand. But let's take a quick look here. I'm going to be cleaning this thing for a bit. Here's the spec sheet, or the specs from Fehonda.com for their LTP81. Now on the syringe it doesn't say, sorry, 81. It doesn't say LTP81, it just says LTP, but it does say LTP81 here. So contact us for customization. Interesting. What I find really interesting and intriguing is their density that they've listed. 3.85 plus minus 0.2. So even if it was as low as 3.65, that would be, I think, one of the densest putties I'll have tested as far as, so maybe it's like super well packed with stuff, I don't know. But we'll find out. Chris Melothridis. Best thermal paste for GPU. My gut says for a GPU, go with phase change material of your choice. That's my go-to. I only use MX4 for testing. I don't think MX4 is bad, and I'm sure MX6 is probably an improvement. But yeah, I don't know. I just go phase change myself. But yeah, this stuff looks interesting. Temperature range minus 40 to positive 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this stuff is gray. I wonder if it's gray like EVGA putty. Is this EVGA? I mean, that'd be cool to find out. How to use, cover fully, wrong method. Yeah, no doubt. Alright, let's get back to the fun of cleaning this, this very messy card. We'll do the easy stuff first. I think it's going to be easy. Let's see. It looks delicious. Snarksy will likely get famous in a few months. I don't know about that, but you know, maybe once GDDR7 hits and a lot more cards and devices are going to have putty than they previously have had. I don't know how much, but I guess we'll find out. You know, I give it 6 months to a year after the 5000 series comes out. That's when I think the channel will probably take off a bit more, because that's when excuse me, that's when cooling enthusiasts are going to start maybe like just out of habit, start pulling apart their cards, whether or not the thermals are good. And just because that's what people that like to tinker do. And they're going to find this goop, and then they're going to start Googling, and I think they'll find the channel. So that's my prediction. But I don't need to be famous. I'm pretty happy with life, even without that hassle. So I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be a hassle if I was a small-time to medium-sized YouTuber. I just don't. I don't know if YouTube is a great, trustable career until you get big enough to get like noticed by YouTube themselves. It can be risky for small to medium-time creators. You could lose your channel at like the drop of a hat and not know why, and have a hard time getting in contact with anyone. So it's goopy stuff. Nathesh Santhush, which putty is the best price to performance ratio? That is an excellent question. And there's a couple that come to mind for me that, like, in my opinion, have similar price to performance in a way. It's not a perfect answer, but I would say for me, between UTP8, that's currently the highest performing, and it's quite reasonable price right now. That's a good deal. And so is CXH1300. The only problem that I have currently with CXH1300 is that I've been seeing some batch inconsistency. That being said, it's still good putty. It only performs 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius worse than the original batch of the 13-watt CXH1300. But what I find more annoying is the thick, or the stiffness of it. So the batches the two last batches here I received are both stiffer than they should be, and it makes it hard to get it fully compressed. In fact, if you guys look back at, I think, yesterday's stream when we removed that stuff, we didn't get a good core contact spread, or not as good as I was expecting, and I think I normally see. I'll have to go back and look at my previous teardowns and see what the ideal spread looks like usually. But it's a good price. Ooh, there's a third one. And if you're buying in bulk and you you just want to get like a ton of putty and contact a manufacturer, I guess a couple different ways with that. There's two more really. I would go with like a Hound's Eye HY 236, 256, 216, 226, 246, whatever color you want of those ones. They're very cheap, and you can buy them directly from the manufacturer in China, and they'll ship them to you, and it's not even that expensive of shipping. Like, it's not $200. It was like, I don't know, maybe like $20 to ship, plus the putty, and I got, I think, 200 or 300 grams that time. Another one that comes to mind would be Laird Putty 607. If you're buying a large enough quantity, like a larger tube than what I bought, that's a high performing putty. It has a nice consistency. It's from a big manufacturer. It has data sheets. It's not the highest from my testing, but it's like it's very good putty. I would not, if I opened up a device and like I knew it had Laird Putty 607 in it, I wouldn't bother replacing that putty myself. That's what happened to your K5 Pro. Oh, like, are you saying it got Leaked silicone, bubbled, and hardened up. Yours hardened up even. I'm gonna have to definitely retest K5 Pro on the next card that I get. Maybe I should do like a longer test with it after I get the initial results and just see how it reacts. Okay, where's the brush? We're just wasting time here. Yeah, this is fun, Mitch, to clean up. Time to start putting thermal goop on titles prematurely. Hey, Francesco86, how's it going, man? Good to see you guys all on stream. It's nice hanging out with folks that are interested in this stuff. Gotta clean the brush before the brush can clean, you know? Yeah, I don't know how hard this stuff would be to clean up if it was on there for a longer time. Like, I imagine a couple months this stuff would be all just rubbery. Maybe it would peel off easier. That's quite possible, eh? Just let it cure and then it'll come up in one chunk. I'm not gonna test that though. This stuff is not high enough performing. I mean, neither is K5 Pro, but at least with that, I'm testing it continuously every time I do a upgrade to my test bench, just so that I can save a few more people of getting a crappy solution on their devices, especially devices where they can't see the temperatures of the VRAM. So I'll let you guys know the testing for this. I got good data for ETC hash. I've got good data for kapow, like a long enough test. But it was crashing the Firmark test a bunch, and I tried, like, I removed the 180 degree PCI Express power adapter that I was using. That wasn't it. I mean, the voltages were fine, but it was crashing, and I finally got something like, I don't know, it might have been an hour of data, maybe. So we're gonna have to just use that. I might switch out the riser cable, because I do have a spare of the same one. That could be worn out too, theoretically. You can use a normal toothbrush. You can. I do. I actually have a normal toothbrush over here. It would, yeah, definitely it's gonna work good. Oh, my eyedropper's getting low on the juice. I think I need to make a YouTube short video where I do something funny about, like, a funny introduction to thermal putty for folks. That's like a quick, I don't know, grabs their attention. Gotta spread the word somehow. Oh, it stuck to the cooler and came off in one chunk. I mean, that makes it that makes it nicer to remove. The oiliness is the problem. Yeah. Yeah, you still always have to scrub a little bit with that layer of oil from a product. I'm generally pretty happy with how this is looking now. But I'm gonna fill up my eyedropper. Alright, this is looking pretty clean. It didn't take so long once I started using the brush. Alright. Going to reshape the putty. You know, for like 3-year-old-ish, 2.5-year-old TGPP10. It's pretty awesome. You can still do that. Alright, we'll get the MX4. Onto the core. Jamar Delamos, welcome to the stream. I can actually make a stream. Yeah, man, welcome. Good to have you. If you are interested in, if anyone's interested in getting notifications of videos, I don't know, sometimes YouTube's video notification is like hit or miss. I've got the Discord channel set up so that when I create a video in OBS, it automatically makes a post in like an announcement channel, which you can totally mute if you find that annoying. But if catching streams, if you're interested in that, then that's a good way to get notified, because Discord's seems pretty reliable that way. There's another guy I watched that had that set up, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. So yeah, just helps out to not miss stuff if you're interested in watching streams of mine. So I guess I should give credit where credit's due. That YouTuber was Rabid Mining. He does a great job. We live not too terribly far from one another. So yeah, still kind of far actually, just not very far. Let's do a little dab in the middle like I always like to do. And we'll zoom out here. We're gonna load up a syringe. Mitch, having the bell on always gives me notice, but it was more noticeable on the Discord. Yeah. Yeah, somehow Discord is more noticeable for me. I'm on a lot of servers, but most of them are muted. Like on mine, I've got it so you can't mention at everyone or at here, because that, you know, gets annoying when people do that. But you can always tag me in a comment if you want to, and I'll definitely respond at this point. I'm hoping I'm never so big that I can't find the time to respond to people. That would kind of suck. Anyways, let's load up this syringe. It does come in its own little syringes. I'm not going to apply it like this. These are, in my mind, they're too small. And we want to get it to that 6 millimeters. 3.85 density is what this stuff is saying that it is, which I find really intriguing, because that could be awesome. That is the densest, the highest claimed density I've seen yet out of a thermal putty. The top performing putties right now all claim to be sitting around that 3.5 grams per cubic centimeter or milliliter. There's, you know, it's the same thing. So all I'm going to do, guys, is this one still has its sticker intact. We can always scratch that later if need be. I'll leave it intact for now though. But it's I guess I'll zoom in here or focus in. It's the 18 watt stuff. And we're just going to squeeze it into here. Okay, this is, it's a putty. It's definitely a putty. Okay, I changed my mind. We're gonna, hold on. I have to get a little bit set up here to do this properly. I don't want to contaminate it at all. We're gonna get it out of the tubes. I'm probably gonna cut the front of this one off. We're gonna knead it into a ball using gloves. I don't want air pockets at all. And then we're gonna put it back in the tube, or in the large syringe, and we'll apply it that way. But first I gotta make sure this is super clean. This is kind of exciting. This could be good. It's got a high density. it's firm enough. They're trying to get us to squeeze it out of a very tiny hole. And that's why I was struggling with it a little bit. I'm not too worried about that yet. We'll find out how firm it is in a second here. But it's definitely a putty. It's not a paste. So it's I'm already thinking it's going to be better than LTP-15. Just saying. No offense to whoever makes LTP-15, but that stuff's just not very easy to use. Just turn the monitor off there. Okay, I'm just using this. Can't remember if I resin stabilized. No, this is just raw wood for a knife handle. But I'm just gonna cut. Ooh, I should probably not do that right next to the video card. Okay, that was a pretty good cut. I don't mind saying so myself. There we go. We're gonna do the same with this one. We're gonna lose a little bit, but that's not a huge deal. Okay, so we got the cut. Cool. Yeah, that's neat. A little bit of wetness on the side, but that's not too worrisome. Okay, I'm going to grab... Let's feel this stuff first. Okay, I like the softness that it is. It does feel soft. It does leave a light film. I think this stuff is promising performance-wise. I'm not sure. I'll have to check how much it cost again. Let me grab the multimeter here. We're just going to test it out. So this putty, let me open up the browser here. My orders, 18. Okay, so each one of these syringes was 12 grams. Okay. It's a higher density, but it's still pretty close to the 3.5 of the others. But it costs $16.06 for 12 grams. That puts it at $1.33 Canadian per gram. And it being a little bit denser, it's a little bit more expensive per cubic centimeter. But let's see how this stuff does. Okay, I don't think it conducts electricity. Now I've got these lightly coated, but it's not a very big film. You see that? There must be like a little particle between those two contacts there. But if I rub, I can rub it through and get it to well, it's beeping for me. You guys can see the number there finally. It's definitely an insulator, so I feel safe putting it on my card. You know, this stuff reminds me of EVGA consistency for their putty. That'd be pretty cool if this performed the same. It's still Price is not the best, but it's not horrible. It's not like CSGR's U6 Pro where they charge what? I think it was $2 or $3 per gram. Okay, let's get this stuff free of air bubbles. We'll put it in the syringe and then we'll go for application. Don't want any of those holes to affect it. Nice and soft, not oily, easy to roll. It would roll just fine. But we're gonna do the syringe. I mean, I'm tempted just to roll it, but I don't want to lose too much of that film on the mat itself, ideally. So if I make a little glob like that, it should allow me to push the plunger down most of the way without trapping air between. I'm just going to wipe the surface a little bit. Sorry, I'm not trying to delay the application here. So far I'm pleasantly surprised just by the consistency of it. So yeah, it's a good thing. Usually need about 40 grams for a good... Sorry, I'm missing out here. Should check thermal conductivity of toothpaste and see if it matches LTP-15. Yeah, no doubt, eh? There we go. Usually need about 40 grams for a good application, right? Yeah. Well, the thermal putty guide I made with that 3070, I used 44 grams, and that only has 8 VRAM modules. So I suppose there's a lot of 16 gig cards that also have 8 VRAM modules because they're 2 gigs a piece on the newer cards. Let's see if I can. I'm just trying to get rid of some of the air. It's not going to be a problem. I think it's going to apply nicely now. And we will grab some random little spreader to chop it off. Just gonna wipe it clean. Okay. Born again, welcome to the stream. Finally received 3 jugs of the CXH1300. 15 watt, but I think it's rated at 13.5. And I have no complaints so far. Used it on Force Extreme Water Force block, and just into bias, all the temps start around are in low 20s. Nice. Yeah. Now, yours, Born Again, when it the CX, did it seem? Let me zoom in here. Did it seem fairly soft, or did it feel firmer than you were expecting? And if it was soft, which store did you get it from? Because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with CXH 1300. I'm trying to figure out if there is a clone product, or if all the ones I've tested are the real deal and it's just batch inconsistency. I don't know which scenario. Well, it'd be worse if there was a fake one. It's better to have, in my mind, batch inconsistency than there to be a copycat out there. Because at least with batch inconsistency, we have a slight chance of getting into contact with them. Okay, we're almost using all of it here. And we're going to write on this one. Fehonda. And this is their highest rated putty from Fonda. I also happen to have, where is it? I just had it a moment ago. I've also got two tubes of their 16 watt stuff, which, let's see how much I spent on the 16 watt stuff, in case it's also good. But I don't know if this one's good, but I'm assuming it might be pretty good. We'll see. Oh, that's funny. How much is that one? 15. They're about the same price. This one was the 16 watt stuff that I haven't tested yet. Sorry, this one is $15.27 per 12 grams. So it's still around that $1.25 per gram. And again, this probably has a... I'll find the density of that one later, but I don't know. So far, I'm excited. This could be maybe this is like EVGA almost. I don't know. It looks a little bit similar, right? Oh, sorry, I moved it out of frame there. What do I want to do? I'm gonna put some gloves on, I think, just because that stuff's gonna fall. Do you clean syringes with IPA? No, I just buy more syringes. I have. You guys want to see some of the syringes I have? This is gonna be nuts, but here's some. It's like maybe half of them with product in it already. So, yeah. You could totally clean with IPA though, and you know, Q-tips. The only reason I keep buying them is for test purposes, I guess. I'm trying to be as consistent as possible. If I was just a normal user, I would just have probably like 3 or 4 syringes pre-cut to a specific diameter nozzle and leave it like that. So I'm just lightly tapping down. You don't want to compress it all the way at this stage of the game anyways. I just want it to stay on there, which I'm confident it will now. And we're going to spin this guy around. Yeah, let's go back to Born Again though. You kind of followed the guide to help me a good idea how much to use. Yeah, I had to pull the block off one time and it was correct on all the parts. See, that's the way to go, right? Like, put all the putty on, skip the paste initially or phase change, whatever you're going with. Put it together, put the like screws in, or even just manually squish it down until you think it's like seated, then pull it out. You can look at the putty and be like, oh, you know, good, bad. Tilt test is good. Final surface wipe down. Oh, no, sorry, there's a little bit of dirt I want to get rid of. Where do I get the syringes? I buy them in 10 packs on Amazon. For not a whole lot of money, actually. But I've got probably 50, no, yeah, 40 or 50 syringes total now. That are all cut to the same nozzle size, one product in each one, and they're labeled on the side. Because some of them I've cut the syringes, like today when I cut those 2 blue syringes, these ones off the end. I can't reuse these. I'm not going to throw them out. I'll clean them up And I'll at the very least, I'll keep the one that still has the authenticity sticker intact, unscratched. Just because, I don't know, it's probably a good thing to keep for now. But yeah. Okay. Feeling pretty good about this. Man, I hope this stuff is great. Again, the more competition that we have in the thermal putty space, the better for everyone. Well, not everyone. The better for the end users. It's not as great for the manufacturers, because then they can't have a monopoly and charge too much, right? Where do you get syringes? At those sizes. And yeah, the size I buy are the 60 milliliter ones. All that really matters is the nozzle size. Also, never fully fill a 60 mil syringe. Don't fill it past 20 cc's, which would be like 100 grams approximately. Because if you fill the syringe all the way, it's really hard to press the plunger down, and it's not fun. If I was buying in bulk though, like if I had, you know, 100 A1000 Teslas or something, or H1000 or H100 Tesla cards to put putty on, I would probably go with that was kind of not in place, sorry. I would go with a piping bag, like an icing piping bag, like I have with the TGPP-10 I used back in the day. That method still works quite well. Yeah, the white stuff on the card. Thanks for answering that, Mitch. Raul Alvarez Fernandez, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so I use the same TGPP-10 on this card for the last couple years now on the VRM for all the testing. So the only thing that we're changing is the stuff that's on the VRAM, and I always put MX4 on the core for testing. I don't think MX4 is a great paste, but it's a cheap enough paste and good enough that I'm getting a consistent, a consistent paste, right? If I changed the viscosity of the paste with something thicker or thinner, it could change our test results. So here I'm just equalizing the depths of each screw before I start doing the star pattern. Yeah, and it's been discontinued. And the stuff I'm using is technically the shelf life past, well, at least over a year and a half ago. So, still working. Oh, Born Again, you said, and the putty seemed nice consistency. You have 4 tubes of EGA as well? Yeah, I do. Well, I had 4 total tubes, but now there's only 1 tube I've not touched yet. The other 3 are in the large syringe that I've got. So I had someone contact me and they were like, hey, I'm trying to make an all EVGA card. It was, I think it was a 3090 Ti from EVGA, and they wanted to do the entire card with EVGA putty between that and maybe, I don't know if they were doing a water block or if they were just doing air, I can't remember. I felt bad because part of me wanted to give it to them and just say like, here you go. But I decided to keep it because I think it's important to still test EVGA putty on the next test card that I get. Just so that people that have EVGA cards can know the quality of the putty that they're pulling out of their cards when they go to replace it. Like, I wouldn't toss it out. It's unless it's baked dry somehow. Ooh. Got a screw run away on me there almost. You know, I actually I haven't lost any of these screws, thank goodness, on this card. I have lost some screws before. Luckily I have a container of all the different, well, not all, but most different GPU screws, including some spring screws. I was just about to do something here. Oh yeah, I did the wrong thing. I'm supposed to spray the Q-tip. There we go. Sometimes when I start talking, I just I distract myself. So right now I'm cleaning the PCI Express connector, guys. I'd always recommend doing this when handling putty. You guys saw me you guys saw me connect those multimeter contacts right against each other, and all there was a very light film of putty between them, and it still prevented continuity until I rubbed them together. So these silicone thermal putties, like, they do not conduct electricity, and they prevent the flow of electricity actively. They are a very good insulator. So when you have it on your hands or gloves, you're handling the card and you grab the connector, it's going to maybe get on the connector and not be good. And I've had it happen before. You put the card back in the computer, you go to turn the thing on, and no picture, and you're like, oh my gosh. You know, and I'm confidently using thermal putties, so I'm not worried. Can you imagine someone their first try, they saw this sketchy YouTube channel that talking about thermal putties, they decided to spend their money, try it, they take it apart, you know, they have a hard time putting it all together, and then they go to boot up and it just doesn't start. That's a bad experience. And I've helped a few people troubleshoot that, and luckily it's each time it's been just the PCI Express connector. They just had to clean it and they were back up and running, which is always a good feeling. Let me get this off to the side. I'll clean up and move a couple things around here. Okay. And then we'll go crunch these numbers from the LTP-15 if that interests you. If not, no worries. You can always catch me on the next application. Not sure if that'll be tomorrow or not. I've got to go down to work for a little bit. A few hours away from home tomorrow. And then I'll be back tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. And then I've got a job coming up where I've got to go pretty far away. And I'll probably be gone for, I don't know, 5 to 7 days. We'll see. I'm not sure how long that'll be, but yeah. Ooh, I have an idea. Let's put them in the bag they came in. That way it can't get messy anywhere. Board again, the putty's in good consistency. Sorry, sometimes I get only read part of a comment. Mitch, yeah, autopilot when I start just doing stuff automatically. Good call. Alright, so let's open up. So I'm just gonna minimize that and that. I'm going to move this. Sorry, I just got to minimize a couple things here. Okay, open up the OBS. Okay, I'm going to switch to the screen. This is going to be pretty bright. No, I'm going to change the background color of this for you guys so you don't have to. We'll make the background color a dark gray and the text a soft yellow. So I don't really feel like blowing out your guys' eyes. Here we go, display capture. So we've got the three charts, or not charts, the Excel work files. I'm just going to open up the standard calculator sheet here. And we're also going to open up the VRAM TIM chart. Just got to give it a moment. This stuff, these files are pretty big. Or that one is anyways. All right. So, Subzero 7, and today is May 6th. Something like that. Liquidy during application, semi-cured to into clumpy, soft putty. I don't know. I'll spell check that later. Ooh, good question, Mitch. And what kind of screwdriver do you need to disassemble the card? It is a for the Zotac. It is a J1 Phillips that I'm using for the Zotac card. And I'm using an iFixit kit, which is pretty good. Okay, we're going to create a copy. I'm just going to do my normal routine now. So for Mark IV, what that means is I had to run the test 4 times before I could get it to run. This was the longest instance that it ran, so it was crashing on me. It's not ideal. I wish I had a full 2 hours of data for this one. I don't. But I didn't want to have to fight with it just to get it to work. So we'll probably clip the first like 15 minutes of data and then use the rest and create our averages off that. If it was a higher performing putty, then I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have crashed, so. Because for some reason, I can pull off getting a kapow test for longer, because it's using compute, but Furmark, if it's water, at least I think that's why it was crashing, because I've experienced that a few times before. Standard sheet, we're going to move this. And we're going to do it again. Alright, let's do etc hash first. So just click anywhere here. Oh, that's... hold on a sec. Average. Oh, it actually says like the file. Yeah. Location, so we got it. That's a really long one. Usually it's... oh, it's because I closed it. Normally I leave that that sheet open and then it just has from this little section here. And because I closed the file, it actually shows the full path of it's on my Z drive. Right on. So Control C. I'm gonna click here. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to go escape. I almost messed up there. That would have been bad. Control A, Control F for find. Click on the replace. Paste that. That looks right. And we're going to replace all those references with data. All done. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one. Control A, Control F. And this should work. This makes it a bit faster rather than me having to select it each time. Yeah, we only got, what, 45 minutes, eh? Thereabouts. It kinda sucks. Oh well. I know we got a good 2 hours of kapow, so that matters more. Ooh, that sucks. Okay, so what I do in this scenario, you see that little dip there? That's where it hypothetically lost connection to the server that it was mining to. So what I'm going to do is select something like, let's see, that occurred at 2150-ish. So if I start from 2300 and then I add calculator, so I'll go 2300 plus 1782, so 4082. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do it on this one actually. 2300 4082. So what that's going to do is it's still going to draw off an entire hour. Without the glitch. And I only have to do that for a few of these 2300. And then I'll look at the chat here in just a sec. This is just calculated within this sheet, so we've got 2300, 4082. I'm not too worried about that. The voltage doesn't actually show up in the other ones, so. Alright, let's do this. Control C. And this is for kapow. No. Is this kapow? It is kapow, yes. There we go. Mitch says, what are your plans for the Gamers Nexus K5 Pro Expose? What are the plans for the game? Oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll let them buy K5 Pro on their own, but I will send them. I was thinking Because like originally I was going to send a thing of UTP-8. I was going to send CX-H1300, like, right, because those were two great putties, and I was thinking I'll do that. That's why I bought those 6 containers off AliExpress, and then 3 from the other store, and now 2 from a different store yet again. I might still send CX-H1300, but I kind of wanted to wait until the next batch that I ordered comes to see what that one looks like. Let's do the ETH hash one. Ooh, that sucks. Okay. See that little gap there? This gap's bigger, so we have at least a full hour of data over here. I'm gonna have to do the same thing. That's when a server drops for long enough and the temps come down, that's a bit out of my control, but we're gonna work with it here. So we're gonna go 2200. Right, it would have taken a couple minutes to get back up to temperature. 2200 to... Ooh, do we have enough data? Yes, we do. Because it's going to be 2200 plus 1782, 3982. Nice. 22, 3982. Sometimes you just gotta make stuff work, right? Because I don't want to put that stuff back on the card just to test it out. Because it's not that good. Oh, this was no, I think that's the right wattage. Yeah. Okay, so 22, 39, 82. Those ones calculate. That looks good. Alright. So we copy those. This is for ETH hash. Or ETC hash, I should say. And now we just gotta do Furmark. Furmark, we are going to use, I'll cut the first 15 minutes. We're going to call the first 15 minutes warm up. You can see it's relatively flat and straight after that. And we'll just be using a half hour of data. Not ideal. I know it sucks, but this stuff kept crashing on me. So let's do this. Where's that calculator? Where's my handy calculator at? So 15 minutes has each have 60 seconds divided by the sample rate of 2.02. So if we start our data at 445, $891 plus 445, so 445 to 1336. Do we have a 13? Oh, we have a 1336 before it crashed. Perfect. So 445 to 1386. That's what we got to do. So that'll be 30 minutes of data after the first 15 minutes warm up. What did I say again? 1386. No. 13. Did I close the calculator? I did. 1336. That's what it was. All right, that's the data we got. So paste values. Now this is the fun part. This is where we get to type it into these other ones here and figure out where it goes. Oh, right, I'm doing that wrong. It's supposed to be over here. Subzero 7 AliExpress. I'll find the store in a little bit here. Control C, paste values. We've come a long way with our chart. I remember when my previous, I was using the previous calculator sheet and I had to do like each individual thing. It sucked. Let's catch up on the chat though. You can always buy more Colgate and we will never know. Yeah, no doubt. Colgate total. Total clean. So 6. Oh, you know what's cool? This is that's kind of neat. This is the number that I put on the sneak peek for the first 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm not going to open it up right now, as I'm not sure which chat I'm on that it would open up to. But yeah, so this didn't actually change after the 10-minute snapshot. Like that full hour of data ended up giving us the same result that my sneak peek did. So it's kind of cool. So we are going to put it just right here. Insert copied cells. Only thing is, when I do that, it kind of breaks this chart. I have to rebuild this each time, which is not difficult. It just means doing that, I guess. Not a big deal, but it's because I'm inserting a new line that doesn't it doesn't follow along with the bunch. Okay, so there it's at the bottom of the chart here. It's 56.5. So right in here. Ooh, it actually pulled ahead. Right on. And kapow. 73.2. Given the choice between these two... Oh. Did that wrong. Control C. Sorry. Control C. Given the choice between this and HY 234, if there were no other putties available, I would go with HY 234 because it doesn't. It didn't seem to cure in the way that this stuff did. I wouldn't pick either myself, but of those two. Yeah, not a great performance. Also, the data was hard to get, as we saw with the drop in the server connection there for quite a while. Look how far that came down. So it must have been like a full minute or so. And the kapow, the same thing. There was a momentary drop. You can tell by how far this drops down. How long it's had to cool down before it reconnected to the server. So maybe I'm overloading my internet and then the Furmark crashing on all the tests that I was doing. Kind of sucks. We might have run out in space of the entry. No, we've got lots of space. I'll show you what I do. You guys ready? I just zoom out. We got all the space in the world. And I can do it really slowly as needed. It is going to get cumbersome. It's already pretty cumbersome, but I'm going to keep doing this for now. I think it's important to have putty and pads showing on the same chart. We're going to do the same thing with shims. I might just do a putty by itself chart, pads by themselves, shims eventually, but I think it's good to have a combined chart still. I'll just zoom out till they all fit. Maybe time to start exporting as PDF to keep quality, but zoom in the drive. Oh, like, I guess I could save these as PDFs instead of pictures. I wonder what happens. Yeah, the PDF would keep a greater quality, wouldn't it? I'll have to consider doing that. Yeah, it's a good idea. Guys, I think that is it for tonight. Unless anyone has any other questions I can help answer. And I'm starting to track the date that I process the data, so I can go back if I really need to. And oh, whoops, my keyboard's very sensitive. Got a lot of data. Look at all that. It's a lot of testing. This was the first test. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do a speedway test, I'll do a time spy, but they're so like sporadic, it's not a consistent load. The etc hash, firmark, and kapow, those are the consistent loads. That's why I use them. Where did I get the little eyedropper thing? Man, that is like the best thing ever. Let me see if I can find it here. We'll open up a new Firefox tab and go to Amazon.com. It was, here we go. This is not the exact ad. The one I bought came in a kit of 2 of them, so I've got a spare. Maybe I'll have a giveaway at some point, but, you know, for $5. What's that? Oh, that's cool. That looks like something I might need. What is it? A funnel. Look at that, a little stainless steel funnel and labels. Right on. Maybe I'll have to, is that for filling it? That's kind of cool. You know, I might just, it's not like I need another eyedropper, but now I kind of want a funnel. That's hilarious. Yeah, these things work great. It was either glass or mine might be borosilicate or borosilicate glass, which is the glass that's really resilient against heat. I think that's probably what Pyrex is made of, I assume. But like, yeah, $6. No import charges. Shipping. I mean, I'm using the US website because it doesn't like show any, I'm not logged in or anything. I'm in Canada, obviously, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have to, I'll just, later on, I'll look at, for this one in Canada, but man, I gotta have me a little funnel now. That looks cool. Yeah. This is, that's all I had for tonight, guys. Let's see what this Fehonda stuff's all about. And, you know, hopefully it's good. It's got a high density. That's probably pretty close to being accurate based on having 24 grams of the stuff, and this syringe has got barely anything left in it, so yeah, it's breakdown voltage. Ooh, interesting. Check this out. 12, 25, and 50 grams. So it's not fair to judge it on the 12 gram price. if this stuff is good, which hopefully it is, well, I'll look online, just figure out if you can buy a 50-gram tube of this stuff for a container, and maybe that'll certainly bring the price down per gram a little bit. Maybe it'll be like $1 per gram, which would match UX Pro basically in price. So we'll see how it performs. I'm rambling now. That's it for tonight, guys. Appreciate you guys coming out to the stream, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Snark's Domain out.